Hello and welcome to Carlos and Lisa. I'm Lisa Remillard.
And I'm Carlos Amesqua. Nice to have you with us. Are you, I'm going to ask you this very direct question, not a difficult question.
Yes, tell me.
Very simple question.
What?
Are you happy at your job? Turns out...
You didn't even give me a chance to answer.
Do not answer. No, because this is your job. Turns out that 1/3 of U.S. workers have seriously considered quitting their jobs in the last 3 months. I'm very happy here.
Well, I too am very happy here. But so, of course, that information is according to a new workplace happiness survey. So why is that? Why are people ready to just walk out on a good paying job?
Not making enough money?
They say they're underpaid.
Yeah. They're
undervalued. And their lack of opportunities for personal growth are just not there. And
shame on the employers. You have to create a workplace culture.
Are you happy at your
blah,
job?
Blah, blah, you know?
Such a loaded question.
It is loaded,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, my dad always used to say, it's not called fun, it's called work. Like, nobody likes their job. And if you do, congratulations, you're a unicorn. That's what he used to say.
Well, I feel like a unicorn because I've loved my job my entire life. But I've had jobs that were difficult, that were sort of fun. I mean, you know, killing termites can be fun. You know.
You didn't kill termites.
I did. I tented houses and we shot gas in the, you know, to kill termites. That was a lot of work, not a lot of fun.
Right. But
Tough
did you
work.
get paid?
I got paid very little money, yes.
Okay.
Very little money.
Well, the thing is that...
But if you work in a factory and you know, at a cubicle or something, I could see that.
Right. Okay. So more than 3.5 million Americans, believe it or not, because they feel all of those things about their job, they quit every month. And because unemployment is down to about a little more than 3.5%, employers are finding it really hard to replace those workers that they are losing. So the question becomes, how, as the corporation or the big business or even the small business, do you retain your talent? How do you do it?
This is interesting because, you know, you hear stories about like the Google campus and they have like free lunches and bicycles and nice places. Places to nap pods and places like sort of like what we have here at Beondtv.
Correct.
All kinds of, you know, and all of those kind of freebies are supposed to create a culture of friendliness and creativeness and productivity. Is that really true? I don't know if it. But you know, I'm a baby boomer. We didn't have that. I mean, literally, we sat at a desk and worked.
Congratulations. Go to a job.
Go to Google.
Right. Okay. So we decided to ask an expert to come in and help us. He is the CEO and founder of the Global Company Culture Association. Dr. Daren Martin is joining us from lovely Dallas, Texas.
What a great company name, huh?
It's wonderful. Hi, Daren. How are you?
Hey, I'm fantastic, and that association is actually just launching at the end of this month. So it's gone from brainstorm to reality, and we're really excited about it because we want to drive exactly what you guys are describing, the problem.
Okay, so let's.
What is the
we want to fix it.
Yeah, how are we fixing it?
Well, so for starters, I'm not surprised by the 30% number. In fact, I'm surprised it's not higher of people that are quitting, leaving their job.
Wow.
Here's the reality. We know that if you ask people what would make them happy in life, they don't say the right spouse, they don't say well-behaved children, et cetera. The most often given response is, I want a great job. People really, I mean, think how much time you spend at work. So compare that and contrast it with the fact that, you know, what is it? 18% of people say they love their job. What's happening with the rest of them? And you're going to notice a theme here. We have a 15% global or across the globe engagement rate, only 15%. And so you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's clearly broken. Something about the way we're doing work now is not working.
Okay, so then how do you fix it? I mean, there's 1 million companies in the United States, and they're all up against this problem right now. So what is the solution to fix it?
Either we have, if engagement is so low, then that means 85% of the workers are just horrible, right? That can't be the case. Although we point fingers and we say it's the millennials or it's this or that.
Right,
Love you talking about your dad. No offense. But I think those days, we just go to our job and we sucked up and we just deal with it. You know, you're getting a paycheck. Those days are not only gone, but quite frankly, I don't know they were the best of happiest of days at that point anyway, when people were working in factories and just drawing that, you know, paycheck with their blood, sweat, and tears. So we've got to think about work very differently. Somewhere along the lines, we dehumanized that whole process. And it became very much, look at the words we use. We talk about head count. We talk about, assets. We talk about all of this stuff. And we've removed the human element out of the entire work thing. So I don't think it's about pay, although that's a factor. I don't think it's about, just necessarily work environment, although that's a big factor. I don't think it's about scooters and,
nap pods.
Softball leagues necessarily, nap pods. Although I have to say, I was in a company just this last week, the Richards Group in Dallas. It's an agency that's been around for a long time. Stan Richards wrote a book about culture 30 years ago, and they have nap rooms in there. And you say, well, that's absurd. That's ridiculous. That's soft. How is that possible? Until you do the research and find out that, for example, air traffic controllers who had a 20, 30-minute nap in the middle of their shift actually outperformed their peers by 20%. They did better. Now, I don't know about you, but if somebody's calling my plane in, I want the person that's got a 20% more edge.
Yeah.
So
Right.
there's real science to support this stuff. We know that if you work an 8-hour shift straight, you do not perform at the same level as if you work with breaks. So we're at a wonderful time in history where we have the data, we've got the convergence of science, and we have this beautiful way to reinvent what we think about as work and actually make it work better. I think everybody should love their jobs. Why not have every place of work a best place to work?
Real quick, because I think a small business owner that is watching right now is going to say, you know what, this sounds flowery and lovely, and of course I want my people to be happy, but quite honestly, I can't afford to, do all of these lovely things that Daren is suggesting. So how do you have to, do they need to rethink how they're thinking about their people? Or is it a matter of they do need to just put the money in to make it happen?
Well, for starters, I don't think anything I've mentioned or what I think a lot of the solution is, it costs a dime, quite frankly, because what it has to do is having a conversation, engaging the workforce in such a way that you find out what they want, what they care about. And I can show you example after example. Companies, if you take care of the workforce will take care of the company. I mean, that was Herb Keller's from Southwest Airlines motto. I would tell you, I'll give you some low paying, at least in the overall picture of things. In-N-Out Burger, phenomenal culture. These are people that are selling burgers, right? And yet they've been able to be crazy successful. This is right in y'all's neck of the woods. Yeah. They've been able to be crazy successful because the people that work there are passionate about it. You've got Zappos not too far from y'all over in Las Vegas. Zappos at one point had people lined up around the block for a $12 call center job. It was easier to get into Harvard than it was to get a job at Zappos for a period of time.
Right.
So this isn't about going out and spending a bunch of money. I understand the small business owner. I ran my own business, a small business, for 20 years, and it's frustrating. You're going to sleep at night like, why am I the only one that cares? Part of the reason I wrote the whole book, A Company of Owners, was because you want people who act like owners. I mean, if you get that, but you have to create an environment for that to happen. So people will ask me, well, wait a minute, how do you get people to act like owners? I said, well, you got to treat them like owners. Yeah. They've got to have a seat at the table. They've got to have input.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
All right, Daren, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
His company's called Global
Thank you all so much.
Culture Association. Dr. Daren Martin, thanks.
Thanks for having me on.